tomorrow instead. The VIP appointment process. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 things that go into a VIP appointment process. Okay? So take a minute, read what those 6 things are real quick. It's on page 7. All right? And then what I'd like you to do is pick out 2 each, or 2 that's exclusive to you guys, that you think is the most important out of the 6. We'll just take a minute and read those and pick out your 2 favorite, maybe your 2 favorites. Okay, so everybody read through those kind of, you get the gist of it? What are your 2 favorites on the page?
I said the first 2 because I think they already kind of flow with what we're doing now. The vehicle pulled up and the manager will be available.
Excellent. That actually would make you feel really good, right? So back to the doctor's office thing, right? If you have somebody at the doctor's office that is booking you down for an appointment, right? If the doctor's not there, right, then you're going to have an issue. You know that's not going to happen.
Well, we set our appointments with our manager too, so I think it would be extremely important.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, so giving somebody a reason.
For what? For this process?
What we're doing is setting it with a manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we are.
So really what's happening is you're setting the appointment. Like if you call me, right, and you call me about the appointment, I'm going to set the appointment.
Yeah, I'm setting the appointment, but you're coming in to meet with.
And you're coming in to meet with, you're coming in to meet the manager, right? So the manager will be able to help us and save time. The second line in there, which is save time, is another really, really big one, because if you're talking to me, I don't have time to do anything. I'm constantly like putting people in my personal life off. Shoot me like if my phone rings, I forget who I was talking to yesterday. I can't even. It aggravates me that somebody in my personal life, not any of you guys if you call, but somebody that, like if my mom calls me, I love my mom. Everything's cool. I have a great relationship with my mom. However, she knows I don't have time to like talk to you on the phone. Shoot me a text. Shoot me an email, and we'll communicate that way, right? People's time is very, very valuable to them. And you can use time to sell the appointment, if that makes sense, all right? The first one that you have in there, that's great too, which also goes back to the time. So if I have the vehicle pulled up and ready for you, what do I not have to do?
Don't do that once they get here and then just waste more time.
People know that when they come down to the dealership, right, they got to come into the dealership, then they got to get, much like Kathy's experience, right? Where they got to come down to the store, we got to find the car, hang on, you're not supposed to talk to Jared, you're supposed to talk to Lewis, and let me find the manager, let's page him, he's not there, okay, I came in to see the F-150. I think that car's here, let me go find it, blah, 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 right?
That'll still happen even though we say all those nice things on the phone.
That's
They'll
right.
still get there and they'll be like, we don't know where it is.
That's right.
What Kathy told me.
That's
Kathy
right.
told me she was going to be here. She was delivering a previous car.
That's
she
right.
was looking for. She was going to go over the details.
That's right.
So
So,
Kathy lied to me.
okay, but
And my
Kathy,
husband's going to say, Kathy doesn't sell cars. She works in the BDC. Why would she tell you all that?
okay.
I'm just telling you that's how it's going to
Yeah, no, and listen, that's good input, because here's what I would say if I was Kathy, right? If I was Kathy and I booked an appointment that I got compensated for, what I would do is I would probably get with whoever, because look, y'all have the internet, right? You have your inventory online, right? So you can basically pop right into your online inventory and look to see if that F-150 is here, right? Then what you could do, once you do set the appointment, is just follow through on what actually happens. Now listen, I understand what it's like to want to follow through on a commitment that you've made to somebody on the car. I'll be there and pulled up and ready to go, and we're in a totally different location. Like, I get that, right? What I would say though is that if your sales department staff and your management staff are not willing to make that happen, right? Then obviously that's an issue that we have to address. It has come up a couple times. We're just going to have to address that issue because the bottom line is it's all about the customers. So when Mr. Paul Miller wants to sell cars to his customers, right? I promise you, he doesn't really care about the convenience of his salespeople, his management staff, his BDC, his finance department, his business office, anything other than doing as many transactions for as much profitable gross as he possibly can over and over and over and over and over. And if you're helping him do that, or she helping her do that, then you're in the right. You'll be they'll be a little more flexible when it comes to that. I promise. Okay, I promise that. So Kathy, on these, what is your favorite two?
Theoretically, the first two.
Theoretically, please, the first two. Okay.
If they're carried out, the other four doesn't matter.
Because you see value in those, right? I mean, you know what I mean? You see value in them because you know my time is valuable. You know those are the pitfalls that happen when people come into the dealership. They get run around the lot for 20 minutes and it's like, hey man, listen, I know you're telling me you can get in here and that I can come down here right now, but I spent 25 minutes with some salesperson that I didn't even know that you didn't tell me I was going to meet, and we ran around the lot for 20 minutes, right?
Well, and two, the other four opens us up to a whole ballgame we're not even allowed to go into.
Which is,
First of all, we don't know the fantastic new model options and all of that. We also don't know the same model will be priced less because we don't know the rebates they qualify for. And we don't know whether or not they're actually gonna let that person take it home, because if he doesn't qualify for financing, because they're credit pre-qualifying, we can't guarantee they're gonna be able to take it home. And fourth, we're not actually gonna physically have their file open, so that's just opening a whole new can of worms. We cannot justify.
so here's what I would say
So
to
the
that.
first two are about as far as we're gonna be able to go.
This is what I would say to that. If I told you, or if you told me, let's pretend you're the customer, right? And you said, because this will go right in fact here, let's just do this here real quick. Go to page, go to page 24. Now we're going to do these. I got to finish my little thing here, but we're going to do these, and I just want you to real quick look at those, right? Because these are just basic objections that he's come up with quick comebacks for, right? And I guarantee you, rebates, interest rates, best price, what's my trade worth, all of those objections that you're bringing up, I can overcome to sell the appointment without being specific and putting that on your management staff and your sales staff, because really, if your job is to sell the appointment, that's it, right? And if they are not willing to do what the second half of that is, that's out of your control. You can't control that. Now, I understand getting yelled at and stuff, but I don't, you know what I mean? I don't have time for any of that. So my thing is that you can set up appointments using those. See, I want you to object when it comes to pricing. I want you to object when it comes to trade-ins. I want you to tell me, look, I need to know what the rebate is on this thing, right? So I'm going to show you how to do that so that you're not hung out to dry when we do the VIP process, okay? Okay, so let's flip back to 7 real quick. I just wanted to address that real quick because I feel like there are certain things that we're in the beginning phases with, you know what I mean, that you have valid concerns about, that I promise you we will figure that out. That's what we do, all right? Okay, so young lady, what is your favorite 2 on the page? Page 7, back to page 7. VIP appointment.
What is my favorite two?
Yeah, what's your favorite 2 out of the 6? Like that you think is probably the most, you know, effective and value that show you the most value for you.
Okay, so wait a second. From a customer perspective?
No, from you personally. You personally, if you were a consumer, because you guys are consumers too, right? So what is your favorite 2 on there, based on you being a consumer?
I would say having the vehicle pulled up and ready to go.
Okay,
Um,
that's a time saver, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll have your file ready so that we can make this one.
Now, why is that important to you?
Cause as a consumer and everybody else, they probably have a really quick schedule that's, to me, like buying a car wouldn't be a priority if I have one that's already running.
Right, okay.
So if I can get in and get out, if I have kids at home, I got, it's a school night, whatever it is, the faster I can get in and out, the more intrigued I would be to come to a dealership.
To come down and actually make that happen, because it's not on your priority list. It needs to get done, but I mean, that's one of your lists on the task, right? Because I got back to school night, we gotta figure out what everybody's doing tomorrow, and I gotta put my schedule together for the rest of the day, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so
like-
saving time is a big deal.
Yeah, and if they have the vehicle for it and ready to go, I feel like I might be
This is only.
more than just a consumer. Like, I feel like I'm a priority, like,
That was what I was looking, you feel like a VIP, right?
yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Right, you're a very important person. Because here's the deal, our customers that we talk to over the phone are the most important thing that we have going right now. And Kathy, I'm telling you, if there's a sales manager that doesn't have time to like treat a customer like a VIP, then trust me, that'll get worked out, I promise. Okay, so let's go, you're on the phone, so what is your favorite two?
Try
I like
to
the first
use,
two, but
Pro
it
and
also
type
depends
in,
on how the conversation's going. If they're on a used car
the
but not a
link.
specific one,
Right.
then you could have some less expensive options available. So it just depends on how the flow of the conversation.
I'm glad you brought that up. Here's the nice thing. If somebody comes here, let's use your used car example, okay? I call and I say, hey, I'm looking at that Ford Focus
Try typing
on the website. We brought up Ford Focus yesterday. We were talking about 10,000. I'm looking for something around 10 grand.
Yeah, 2
And
Bs.
he's like, hey, listen, I got a ton of Ford Focuses that are right around $10,000, right? Okay. If I make an appointment on a used car and I'm looking at a $14,000 car and you ask me, what was it that interests you most? Is it the style or the price? And I say, well, it's the price. I need to be at something that's like 14 grand or under, probably because I've already looked online to calculate what my payments have been. I've contacted my credit union. I know what my interest rate's going to be. I pretty much have all the information that I'm going to need on a $14,000 car to make that decision, right? Okay. But I get to the store and I don't like it, right? I don't like it. The salesperson is probably going to then, if he's any good, he's going to take me over to a similar vehicle, right? Because I don't like it, right? If I book an appointment on a used car that's $14,000 and it's sold and gone, and the person shows up, right? Kind of like you're saying, I'm gonna have probably 3 or 4 backup plans in the wings, ready to go. When I was selling cars, I knew who was coming, when they were coming, why they were coming, what they were coming to look
That's how it
for,
should be.
right? And exactly, and I had like 4 backup plans for whenever that person showed up. It's never gonna happen the way we want it to happen, ever. Well, 2 times out of 10, it's gonna happen perfect. They're gonna show up. They're gonna go, "Yep, where's the finance department? Man, let me sign up." Right? But 8 out of 10 times, 6 of them, it's gonna be kind of squirrely there for a minute till we get it all figured out, right? And 2 people are gonna say, "I can't believe Kathy lied to me about the freaking car. It wasn't here." 2 of them are gonna do that, right? There's just no way we can get around that. Okay? We want the 2 laydowns and we want the 6 flexible people, right? So the best part about having inexpensive options available, that's their job. That's their thing. That's what salespeople do. We come up with alternatives and we come up with backup plans, right? And I think that if you look, I forget what page it's on, but Ben's got a BDC manual. I'll find it here in a minute. But it's like 7 out of 10 people will buy something that's different than what they came down for anyway. So even if I'm saying I want a red F-150, right? But you have some more inexpensive options available to me, right? Me personally, I'd look at a blue one. Especially if I can save, it's got the moonroof that I wanted, and it doesn't have the navigation that I got a $2,000 bump in, right? I'm probably into the blue one that's a little bit less money. Does that make sense? Okay, good. So yeah, that's a good one.